Scented ASMR. Hello everyone, welcome to Scented ASMR. Today I want to share with you some new releases that I've fallen in love with and picked up bottles of. These are all pretty recent releases, and so I'd like to share them with you today. This first one that I want to start with, this one is from Creed, and it's called Carmina. It's a pretty bottle. It's kind of a deep magenta color. It's pretty. With a nice gold cap. It's a nice heavy bottle. So, Carmina is considered a floral woody musk fragrance, and when it was launched in 2023, the top notes are black cherry, saffron, and pink pepper. The mid notes are May rose, peony, violet, and cashmere wood. The base notes are musk, ambroxan, myrrh, and frankincense. And this is a sweet, spicy, ambery rose fragrance. You really get the deep, dark, black cherry note that's in here, especially in the opening. But you can also smell it throughout the whole way of the fragrance. But it's not, it doesn't overwhelm the other notes. It just blends really nicely with them. And it's just a very deep and sweet dark cherry. And the rose is definitely the most prominent floral in here. And it's a nice red rose. And it's sweet. And I do pick up some of the peony in here. And I think that peony adds a slight bit of freshness to the fragrance. Along with the musk, you get musk in here too, so kind of between the peony and the musk, you get a little bit of freshness to the fragrance. But it is a deep fragrance and it's very sweet. And the sweetness is really balanced by the resinous myrrh and the spicy pink pepper and saffron. I get a lot of the saffron in here too. It adds a lot of spice to the fragrance, so it's nicely balancing out that sweetness. I think it also, the saffron kind of gives it a little bit of a Middle Eastern vibe to the fragrance. And I really enjoy this fragrance. It was a love at first sniff for me. But I do notice it gets a lot of poor reviews, and I can't really figure out why. I think it might be the price. It's a very expensive fragrance. So maybe people don't think it's worth the price. But I really love it. But I love sweet and spicy rose fragrances. So it was just an instant love for me. It kind of reminds me a little bit of one of my favorite fragrances, which is Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper. It doesn't smell like it, it just reminds me of it because it's a sweet and spicy rose. That's where I get the similarities. But this one has a lot of that fruity black cherry in it. And so that's Carmina, and it's by Creed. And speaking of Kayali, this next fragrance I have is a Kayali fragrance. And it's from the new Oudgasm collection. They released 4 fragrances. And this one is the Vanilla Oud 36. And if you're not familiar, the number at the end of the name, the 36, that means that that's how many formulations that they went through with the fragrance before they got to the one that they wanted to use. So it took them 36 tries to get this one. And this is a lovely black bottle. I really like it. I love the black diamond cap. It's pretty. And I do appreciate these Kayali caps because they stay on the fragrance really well. You can pick the fragrance up by the cap and not worry about it falling off. It's a really nice bottle, and you can't tell, but it's not completely opaque. You can see through it if you hold it up to the light. So if you want to see how much is left in the bottle, you can. And so, Oudgasm Vanilla Oud was launched in 2023, and the top notes are praline, saffron, and pear. The mid note is Bulgarian rose. The base notes are vanilla sugar, cashmere wood, white musk, oud, and oak moss. And as the name suggests, this is a sweet vanilla oud fragrance. The vanilla in here It's not like their vanilla 28. It's not like a rich or a syrupy vanilla. It's a light, musky, kind of powdery vanilla. I definitely get the praline that's in here, and I think that adds to the sweetness of the fragrance. I really like praline. That's one of my favorite notes. It goes nicely with vanilla and oud, I think. The saffron that's in here, it's not a very spicy saffron. It comes off kind of like a soft leather. It smells leathery to me. The oud that's in here, it's a very soft, like super soft and smooth oud. It's very pleasant. It does have a bit of smokiness to it. At least I pick up some smokiness. But it's a very soft, easy to wear oud. Some people are saying that they don't get the oud in here at all, but I definitely smell it. It has to be where the smokiness is coming from. But it is, like I said, it's soft. And the scent, it does have a warm and cozy vibe to it. So I think it's really nice for the cooler weather because it's so cozy. But it's also, since the vanilla is like a light, kind of musky vanilla, I think this one's nice. Will be nice in the warmer weather as well. And it's a soft fragrance that kind of wears close to the skin. But it does seem to last a long time because I wore it the other day when I went to work, and I could still smell it when I got home from my 8-hour shift. So that's Oudgasm Vanilla Oud, and it's by Kayali. And so this next one here, this is also from the Oudgasm collection, and it's called Rose Oud 16. And this is a mini. It's a smaller bottle than the vanilla one that I got because I really do like this one, but it's not a love for me. Like, the vanilla was a love and this one's just a like. At least for now, because the more I wear it, the more I do really enjoy it. So maybe in the future I'll get a larger bottle. And here's the mini bottle, and it's so cute. I really like how Kayali does their mini bottles. Like, they're really miniatures of the larger bottles. You can tell that Mona really pays a lot of attention to the details in the packaging. And this is pretty. The writing on here is in pink. And so Rose Oud was launched in 2023, and the top notes are geranium, lemon, and pear. The mid notes are Bulgarian rose and peony, and the base notes are oud, vanilla, and cashmere wood. And this is just a very pleasant rose and oud fragrance. The opening to it definitely has some freshness with the lemon and the geranium. It comes off kind of fresh. And the rose in here smells like a very rich red rose. When the fragrance dries down, I start to get more of the vanilla that's in here, and I can smell more of the oud. Although, once again, the oud is it's a very soft and easy to wear oud, and it's very likable. The fragrance also seems to become sweeter as it dries down. I get more of the sweetness. And I think that the oud is really well blended, and the fragrance in general is a well blended fragrance. Mona said they took 4 years to work on these oud fragrances, and I can really tell the two that I have are very nicely blended. And this one is unisex, but I think it leans a little bit feminine. And it's not a very, unique rose and oud fragrance, but it's definitely an enjoyable one if you like rose and oud. And I do. I love rose and oud, so I enjoy this fragrance. And so that's Oudgasm Rose Oud 16. This next one here, this one is by Dolce & Gabbana, and it's called Devotion. Has a heart on the front. That's also on the bottle. Reminds me kind of like of the early 2000s or maybe the 90s. I like it. I like hearts. And here's the bottle. It also has that heart on it. Has a light orange juice inside. And so Devotion is considered an amber vanilla fragrance, and it was launched in 2023. And the perfumer is Olivier Cresp. The top note is candied lemon. Mid note is orange blossom. And the base note is vanilla. And this is a citrusy, floral, gourmand vanilla fragrance. The 3 notes that are listed, I think they represent this fragrance really well. You definitely get a lot of vanilla in here, and it's a an airy and a fluffy vanilla. The lemon in here, it is definitely a candied lemon. It's not a sharp or a zesty or super citrusy. It's candied. It is citrusy, but it's super sweet and candied. And the orange blossom is also very present. And it adds a floral aspect to the fragrance that keeps this from becoming too gourmand or too foodie smelling. It keeps it smelling like a perfume. And I really like this fragrance. I think it's very feminine, and it's a very enjoyable and easy to wear fragrance. It's something that I would wear year round, but I think it's probably best for spring summer because it's pretty light to my nose. But I have heard some people say that it's very heavy and screechy to them, which is it's weird because I don't get that at all. It's like a light, citrusy, floral vanilla. I don't get anything heavy. It's also not screechy. It smells pretty smooth to my nose. But everyone's different, so we smell different things, or we smell things differently. Our noses are different. And I would say that the projection and the longevity for this one, they're moderate. I can smell it throughout the day, but it's pretty light. And I think it lasts maybe about 6 hours on me. Maybe 6 to 8 hours, which is pretty good. And so that's Devotion. And it's by Dolce and Gabbana. And so this next one that I have here, this one is from Perfumes de Marly, and it's called Althair. Yeah, those Perfumes de Marly horses. And there's the bottle. This is from the men's line. This is my first men's fragrance from Perfumes de Marly. The bottle's quite different from their female fragrances. And that's those horses again. And so, Althair is considered an amber vanilla fragrance, and it was launched in 2023. The perfumers are Hamid Muradi Kashani and Elias Armendius. The top notes are cinnamon, bergamot, cardamom, and orange blossom. The mid notes are bourbon vanilla and elemi. And the base notes are musk, ambroxan, praline, and gaiac wood. And this is a sweet, spicy, musky vanilla scent. To my nose, the vanilla that's in here, it's a very light and musky, and it smells kind of like a candied vanilla. almost marshmallowy. I do definitely pick up the orange blossom that's in here. And I can also smell that sweet and warm praline note. And I do get the LME that's in here, which is supposed to have like a fresh, spicy, piney smell. I definitely can smell that, and I wasn't sure what it was until I looked up the notes. And I looked up what LME was, and yeah, it is kind of a piney scent. And the cinnamon and the cardamom that are in here, there would add the spiciness to it. And it's a warm spiciness. And I think that the spices are what really keeps this from becoming a feminine fragrance. Because to me, the vanilla in here and the orange blossom, they smell feminine. But then it's kind of balanced by the spices that smell more masculine. It also gets spicier to me as it dries down. And I heard a lot of people saying that it's not a masculine scent. They can't figure out why it was released under the men's line, and I agree. This is very, very unisex. And because I tend to not like masculine scents, and this is a unisex scent. Some might even consider it feminine. But I loved it. I smelled it at Nordstrom's on a test strip, and because I had heard people recommending trying it, and I smelled it on a test strip, and I loved it right away. And so I sprayed it on my skin, and I loved it even more. And so I decided to pick up a bottle of it. It also smells very familiar. I hear a lot of people say that it has a familiar smell to it, and it definitely does. But I can't place it. I don't know why it's familiar. I don't have anything in my collection that smells like it, so I don't know. It's like something from the past. But this is just a really nice, enjoyable, sweet, spicy vanilla scent. And so that's Althair, and it's from Parfums de Marly. And so this last one that I have here, this one is from Byron. And it's the new Mula Double Caramel. So there's a pretty butterfly on it, like on the bottle. Here's the bottle. It's a pretty green color. And it has that butterfly. You can see that butterfly on it. So cute. Who doesn't like butterflies? And the gold cap. And so Mula Double Caramel was released in 2023, and they note peach, ginger, caramel again, so I guess that's where the double caramel comes from, and strawberry, raspberry, vanilla, Laos Oud, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, Laos, and patchouli, and amber. And it's a very sweet, fruity caramel scent. If you're familiar with the original Mula, which is one of my very favorite scents, definitely my top 10 favorites. This one, it smells very, very similar to that. And that one is also a fruity caramel scent. But the difference is that I can smell is that with the original, I pick up a lot more of the peach. Whereas in this one, I pick up more of the berries. I also get, I think there's a lot less like oud in here. And this one doesn't smell as like deep and as round as the original Mula does. So I feel like there's less oud. It kind of feels like a lot of the notes are kind of dialed down, except for the caramel is like dialed up a little bit. Although this isn't like super syrupy, deep caramel. It's kind of, it smells similar to the original one. I also think that this one leans more feminine than the original. To me, the original one is pretty unisex. Some think it's feminine leaning, but I think this one is more feminine leaning. To my nose, it is. This one actually kind of reminds me of Viva La Juicy Gold Couture, which is also a berry and caramel scent that I actually really like. And so this one reminds me of that. And so I really like this. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up liking it more than the original Mula, but we'll see. I definitely do like this one. It's very nice. And so that's Mula Double Caramel, and it's from Byron. Thank you so much for joining me today, spending your time with me. I hope that this video was relaxing for you and that you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again in my next video. Take care.